Dricus du Plessis, it's very nice to meet you again and to see you here in Poland, ready to go in the cage.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing to be here this time, not only as a spectator and finally being able to fight, and having the privilege to actually be the main event again. It's not a lot of people get two opportunities like that, and I got this opportunity and I will make the most of it.
We are kind of surprised because since the beginning we had the information that in the main event we are going to see Bahati and Damian Janikowski, and then almost 2 weeks ago KSW gave us the information that in the main event for the first time in the KSW history we were going to see foreign fighters, you and Roberto Soldic from Croatia. It's amazing.
I was shocked as you are. Like, they let me know, my agent and manager just sent me the message, and I was like, no man, what do you mean we're in the main event? I thought maybe somebody got injured. And they said no, they're just changing the fight because that's what the fans want to see. And I was so happy, I was through the roof. I was just like, everything happens for a reason, and now it's even more motivation for me to go out there and put up an amazing performance, because KSW is taking a big risk for this, because if we don't deliver, everybody's going to be like, wow. So we have to deliver, and I want to deliver, and I always have delivered. In my last 8 fights, I've received fight bonuses, either fight of the night, performance bonus, or submission of the night every time. So I know whenever I fight, I go and I give it my all. And it will be no different this time. We will put up a very good fight.
Yeah, as you said, people here in Poland want to see this fight between you and Roberto, and you are really working hard. You and Roberto are working hard for this, to have a lot of Polish fans. You give the interviews for the Polish media. You are always on your Facebook, on your Instagram. There are some Polish translations of your messages in social medias. I wanted to ask you, whose idea was it to have these translations in Polish?
So I have an agent, Peter, and he approached me and said he's from Poland, so he can help me with PR stuff. And it is a great move, because now I'm in Poland, and this is where my fan base is, and I plan on fighting for KSW for quite a long time. And I love to fight in Poland. So if the fans here like me, then they will put me on a lot of cards, and I love the country, so I want to come here a lot. And he said a lot of Polish fans don't understand English that well, and I don't understand a lot of good Polish. I'm learning Polish very good. I'm just reading some stuff, and it's cool. So he said, let's do the post in both language, and that was a brilliant idea. And we started doing every post that I make for Polish and English fans.
Yeah, we can see that the Polish fans are very much interested in your fight with Roberto. Okay, I saw your media training for the press on Monday, and you have great kicks, and I can see that they are very strong and very fast. Is this going to be your main surprise for Roberto in the cage?
Yes, I mean, kicks is something. I have quite long legs. I'm a longer, much taller fighter than he is, and I've always known my kicks are very powerful. But he also likes to kick, and it won't be a surprise. It will be a lot of guys I fought. When I kick them, you can see it hurts, but for some reason a lot of fights end up on the ground, and that's where I finish them. But remember, my speciality is actually in stand-up. I am a K1 world champion, and so kicks are something I train very hard, and not only the power but the speed is more important for me, and the precision of the kicks. And yes, in the fight there will be a lot of kicks, just like there will be a lot of punches. I like every aspect of MMA, and I do think the fight will have all of them displayed on Saturday night.
My favorite fake news about you is that you are better on the ground than on the feet.
Yeah.
Could you please explain to our fans that this is not true because of your kickboxing background?
Yes, I mean, the thing is, the proof is actually in my record. I think I have 3 wins by TKO, and I have 9 wins by submission, but for some reason the fight, like I say, the fight I always go everywhere. I start standing. It's not like I just go and shoot for the takedown. A lot of my fights stay standing for long, but I've dropped a few guys. No, it's I'm not. I like to stand up, but I've given up the stand up a long time ago. I'm not a K1 fighter anymore. I am an MMA fighter, so I like to keep my game all around and take the fight everywhere because I have to test my opponent and see where he is weakest, and that's where I will beat him.
Okay, what was your idea for the game plan in the cage in fighting in the EFC with Yannick Bahati? Did you, since the beginning, did you know since the beginning that you want to submission him?
Not at all. Like I say, a lot of times when I get in the cage, usually I do something completely different than I plan. I think fighting is like that. I train every day. I try to train every aspect of MMA, and I try not to go too much into a game plan. I go in because then if you have a game plan every time, then people start figuring out how you fight. And people can't figure out how I fight because I don't even know myself what I'm going to do. I just go in and when the fight starts, I see maybe this guy, I'm landing good in the stand-up, so let's keep it there. But then I'll go in the clinch and say, oh no, this is good, this is where I'm doing good. Or I'll take him down and see, oh, I'm much stronger than him on the ground, and try to finish the fight there. I try to finish quickly, always. So if I'm catching him in the stand-up, we keep it there. But I always try to test my opponents every day because I train everything. So I don't want to waste my time in training a million takedowns and not land one takedown in the fight, or training on the ground and not going to the ground once. I want to test myself everywhere, and I don't go into the fight with one specific game plan because I think when guys start figuring out how you fight, they can beat you on game plan. And if I don't ever really know how I'm gonna fight, how can my opponent know what I'm gonna do? So
yes, that's obvious. Okay, I want to ask you about Yannick Bahati because
sorry,
fans.
I didn't even answer that question.
No problem.
My plan with Yannick was, but I knew he doesn't like to take a lot of punches, and I thought I had a much bigger speed advantage than he does, and that was true in the fight. I know he's a good boxer, and I know he's good on the ground, and he was a black belt. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and but that didn't. He's not the first black belt that I tapped. Just before that, I won my title against a black belt from Brazil as well. So because in MMA with Jiu-Jitsu, it's one thing, but maybe he will beat me in a Jiu-Jitsu match. But once the punches come in and I can, do everything, it's a whole different story. So the plan was to keep it in the stand-up until he gets tired, because I know I'm very fit to push the pace very hard, and when he shoots for takedown, block the takedown and keep on there, or even get the takedown on him and ground and pound. And when he shoots for the takedown, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised. We thought he will shoot for the takedown maybe in the second round or so, and he shot in the first round, and before I knew it, just muscle memory, and my arm was around the neck, and I knew I had it, because immediately I knew that submission was in, and I just went for it.
What do you think about Yannick Bahati's game before the fight? As you can see, he is doing almost the same what he was trying to do with you to Damian Janikowski. Do you think that it's a good idea to make a mess in the head of your opponent, as Yannick Bahati does?
I think Yannick calmed down a lot from our fight. I think he learned a big lesson there, because he was very, very bad with this. And it's, he's not a bad guy. He's not like we're not really friends or anything like that, but I speak with him a little in this week. He's not as bad as he looks, but when we fought, he was very disrespectful to my country, to personal life and all that, and he couldn't get into my head. I am unbreakable, and it can work, but I think his approach was a bit too aggressive, because it makes fans want to see you lose, and especially going to foreign countries to fight, it's hard, because when we fought for the belt, he tried to get in my head and he said very, very personal stuff, and I knew it was just to hype and to get into my head, but the fans took it very personally, because he was cursing at a whole country. And if you do stuff like that, it's just not the right way. I think that is a bit of mismanagement of your career. And people, when you lose like he did, people aren't like good sportsmanship afterwards. They hate him now, and it's done. So I think that's his approach, and if it works for him, it's good. But I could never have that approach. And with Janikowski, he has very little experience, so it might even work with him. So Yannick Bahati can use the experience of that to maybe get Janikowski to get angry and fight emotional. And you never want to fight emotional. It has to be strictly business.
Okay. Well, Dricus, I have a lot of questions for you, but I know that you are in a hurry, so I will leave this for the next time, and hope to see you after the fight in the media room.
For sure.
And I really wish you a very great fight that we really want to see.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.